This is the only Ana Stadium build that you should be using this season. My name is Corvina and I'm a seasoned Ana and Stadium enjoyer. I have tried dozens of builds for Ana since Stadium was released, and this is easily the best and most consistently performing. Ana has been really brutal to play this season since her nerfs, but with the right tank, this build can help you shine. In this build, you spam your cooldowns and become a total tank. Stadium is very much a mode where you can still have fun and do well with off builds, for most heroes at least, but you will never be consistently dominating unless you use meta builds like mine. Prior to the rework, I used an LMG build for Ana, which I am still mourning. However, we can't change the rework. We must embrace it and the Biotic Nade. Let's get into it. This is an aggressive build that should be played from short to mid-range depending on team comps. The ideal position is far from combat with a decent sightline on allies and enemies. There are a couple factors that will require you to play closer to your team, like if you're playing into a dive comp where your kit solely won't be enough to keep you up and you don't have responsive DPS, or if the map has no safe sightlines where you can see both tanks. Both tanks is always the priority. You want the nano on your tank and the anti on theirs. And if you're just being hard picked, you're gonna have to play closer to your tank. Now, I do use this build regardless of the heroes I'm playing into, but some definitely make my life harder. When you're intending on playing Ana, I highly suggest going for 4th pick so you can assess these counters. I'll talk about some specifically, but this is the counter tier list for my Ana build this season. Genuine hell to verse. Some builds counter, some people counter, and easy. These aren't in any particular order, by the way, and the only one that will genuinely stop me from playing Ana is D.Va, but alas, it is so rare to know if someone is actually picking her. D.Va and her Matrix is the most notable counter. This makes it so you need to significantly be more mindful about your cooldowns. Unlike Zarya, whose bubbles you can count, D.Va pretty much has infinite Matrix. So the only ways to counter this are to wait for the millisecond it drops to send a cooldown, wait for her to not be directly facing you so you can hit her side or back, or encourage your teammates to keep enough space from her so you can send a cooldown onto them, directly at their feet, preventing it from being sucked in. This is easier with the sleep over the nade. The second biggest counter is not Kiriko, but Moira. Her Fade build is disgusting. The cooldown is extremely short and will cleanse all debuffs. The best thing to do into this is encourage your teammates to focus her. If she's aggressive, hold your sleep for her flank. She will likely immediately fade after awaking, so dash towards her, throw the nade, and kill her. If she's outplaying you, you'll need to use the build a little more defensively, using cooldowns more on your teammates than the enemy. Round 1, we get Nano Nade. This makes every nade you throw nano yourself and your teammates for a second and a half. This mini nano gives them a slight damage reduction and damage boost. For items, you get weapon power and attack speed. The last item we get is shield. I always choose shield over armor due to the life regeneration buff. I have to admit, round 1 is very much a nothing round with this build. The main goal is to farm stats and generate as much cash as possible. The build picks up, I promise. This round you need to play a lot more aggressive so you are getting as much damage and healing in as possible. Round 2 we get Fountain of Soothe. This makes every sleep now spawn a nade that gives the same effects. So we get anti and nano. Now that you're at this point, it's important that you're spamming those cooldowns, but generally in rotation. You get a precise shot with the sleep nade as there's very limited fall off, so it's better to use that one if you're at a further distance from the target. And with nade, it's thrown like a ball, so the angle you send it at really matters. So it's better at short distance. Now we sell those greens and go straight for dash boots. This is non-negotiable, Ana is useless without them. Even if you had a bad round the first round and it's the only thing you can buy, you have to buy it. Ideally, you'll be able to pop a blue, go for Icy Coolant. If you don't have enough, however, go back to those 3 greens: attack speed, weapon power, and shields. These will be your best friends. They are always my filler items for leftover cash. Round 3, I sell the fillers and grab potent projectiles. If I happen to have 10k, I'll buy Phantasmic Flux. Otherwise, the leftover cash goes to Icy Coolant or Talon module, filled up with those greens, of course. Round 4 is when we lock in. We grab Home Remedy, which grants us an increased nade radius, and overhealth every time the nade hits an ally. This is honestly the peak form of this build. Yes, it gets better, but this is where it really begins. These 3 powers together are the only thing keeping Ana viable this season, and don't let anyone convince you otherwise. Although she's not very good anymore without her movement, Nano Nade with these other powers is so good. The item you want to get now is Target Tracker. Fill with blues and then the greens. If the enemies are running an anti-anti build, multiple have Kitsune Charm or cleansing abilities, it's best to use your cooldowns more on your tank, self, or other teammates to get the most of it. Round 5, Hard Light Accelerator. Cooldown reduction with weapon power gives us the best of both worlds. We can use our abilities more often and we get more power. Round 6, we grab the Falconer. This makes each nade hit on your allies grant them 6% ult charge, including yourself. The one drawback with this is it can encourage your already challenged teammates to utilize their ults even worse than they already are. Stadium rounds are short. Every hero is different, so the best way to handle this is stacking with people, or calming, ensuring they don't unnecessarily use ults. If you build up your first nano quick enough, you should be able to get 3 ults. Generally, when there's 1 minute left on the clock, don't use your ult charge, depending on the game mode of the round. You generally want to wait until you can guarantee either a team kill with no time to touch, or to save a tank, or save a DPS and some supports that have their ults. If no appropriate opportunities come up, then holding it to overtime is your best bet, and using it when someone finally gets an ult or to save a life. Especially your tank. Ana has to look after the tank. Round 7, naturally we get the closer. If you can't afford it, take any weapon power item you can get, from Talon Module to Weapon Jammer, or you could even go with 3-tap Tommy Gun, which isn't weapon but it's still good. Ana has been a major adjustment this season, but this is truly the best way to get the most value out of her in Stadium right now. I really hope you enjoyed this build. These powers since her rework are so fundamental to her value. Not to mention actually having fun as Stadium was intended. If you like this build or this kind of video, please leave me a like. And if you use this build, leave a comment and let me know how you went.